Miss Lottie, I'm sure you're aware of why we are having this conversation, he began as he made his way to the crackling fire. Yes, Your Grace. My sincerest apologies. I'll simply pack and be. Pack? Whatever for? Charles turned, scowling. Am I not dismissed? She asked, her voice trembling. Charles took a moment to study her. Her dress was soaked, as was her pelisse. Her gloves were ruined and the once tidy, if not far too strict, bun on the nape of her neck was dripping. In fact, between her hair and clothes, a puddle had begun to form at her feet. Here. Charles shrugged out of his greatcoat, at a loss for finding anything else. Carlotta's eyes widened, but she obeyed and slipped her arms into the coat as he held it out for her. He pulled it over her shoulders, settling it. Tugging on the lapels, he tugged her forward and towards the fire. As he did, he felt how her body was shivering and saw the telltale trembling of her jaw. But not once did she complain. Take off your gloves for pity's sake, Charles grumbled and reached for her hands. But no arguing. You'll never warm up with wet gloves. Though as soon as the words flew from his mouth he bit back a groan. Wet gloves were the least of her worries when her entire dress was dripping on the floor. Thank you, she said with quiet grace. You're welcome. Now, I'll not have you think I am dismissing you. To be sure, I am not keen on the fact that I was interrupted not once but 4 times this afternoon, but that's no bloody reason to gallivant about the city and get soaked. Carlotta's lips thinned into an irritated line as she glanced to him after his speech. I wasn't gallivanting about town. Oh, and what exactly do you call whatever it was you were doing? Charles asked, crossing his arms. Having a picnic, she said dryly. In the rain? It wasn't raining when we left. She spoke through clenched teeth. Have you no understanding of London weather? Just because it's not raining doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. One must always assume it will rain at some point. Charles huffed indignantly. Just where had the girl grown up if not London? As he thought the question, he realized just how little he knew about Carlotta. A strange prickling in his chest made him realize how much he resented that fact. He wanted to know about her. Her green eyes reflected the firelight, giving them an orange halo in the center. Luscious lips parted as her pink tongue caressed her lower lip before biting it. Without thinking, because had he thought, he certainly wouldn't have acted, he took the 2 steps towards her, which brought them nose to nose. Her eyes widened, but she didn't back away, which was all the invitation Charles needed. Slowly, he lowered his head, caressing her face with his gaze until the last moment when he allowed his eyes to slip closed. A fraction of a second later, he felt the soft pillowy bliss of her lips touching his. Her breath was sweet, warm and inviting, so he kissed her again, lingering a moment longer. When she didn't move, he reached out and placed his hands on her shoulders, encouraging her as his lips caressed hers once more, teasing them, tasting them and tutoring them to accept his attentions. The fragrance of cedar and fresh rain mingled around her, adding to the heightened awareness that had already woven a spell over him. Tentatively, she kissed him back, a kiss she was beginning to return. At first, she was so shocked, she was quite frozen, even keeping her eyes open as he gave the first kiss. But slowly, as his warm mouth teased hers, offering her gentle coaching, she found herself wanting needing to return the kiss. She mimicked his movements, the flick of his tongue and the nibbling of his lips till she heard him groan softly. He deepened the kiss, surprising her once more with the pleasure of it. Her heart beat wildly, surely pounding hard enough for the Duke to feel, pressed up against as tightly as she was. Absent-mindedly, she wondered when that had happened. But as he softly broke the seal of their lips, she found she didn't care. He drew back slightly, his eyes cloudy with passion. Was that what it looked like on a man? It was deliriously delicious, and she wondered if she looked the same. His eyes, so light normally, had darkened. His irises were wide, giving his gaze a smoldering quality that burned her from the inside out. His lips were still slightly wet from their exchange. She gazed at them, wondering at their softness. She waited, not wanting to move but also not knowing what to say. What did one say after a kiss? The Duke seemed to be facing the same dilemma, for he made no movement and spoke no words, simply gazed at her as if seeing her for the first time. I, he whispered, his soft breath fanning across her face. She swallowed, somehow, feeling like his next words would be pivotal. You should dry off. He stepped back and nodded, turning to the fire, effectively dismissing her. Oh, yes, Your Grace. Carlotta stammered, her confusion and the sting of rejection painful in her breast. Before the tears that were welling in her eyes slipped out, she turned and left with as much dignity as she could muster. A kiss that had tilted her world and branded her heart seemed to have had no effect whatsoever on the Duke. And nothing could have hurt more.